Not for 1 second. What a brilliant report. Thank you. These kids are the future.
Yeah, he's got,
They
if
give
nothing
us
else,
hope.
I'm buying something, that's for sure.
I'm telling you, he's talented. So this Monday, the Electoral College will meet and vote for the President and Vice President of the United States. That's how it works. This after the American people's votes were counted, challenged, recounted many times, and certified in favor of President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Our Rick Adams is going to join us in studio right now to break down the Electoral College and how it works. Because, you know, believe it or not, people are confused still by this.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, this is an exercise in cruelty, isn't it? Make the Brit explain. It's like, do you want I'll explain cricket next and why you shouldn't put milk in your tea first, people? No! Anyway, sorry. Gazelle,
hear that too.
Giselle the Gazelle and Absolute Kelvin, this is without a doubt a long shot from the president with less than a week until state electors meet to cast their votes. His hope to interrupt a system that our nation has used successfully to elect a president every 4 years for hundreds of years in a row. And in this Virtually Rick, we take a closer look, not just at the system itself, but what can be done to change the outcome. Juan, vámonos.
Our democracy is about fairness. It's about one person, one vote, one result. And every vote counts, right? Actually, no, it doesn't quite work like that.
Oh.
The general election is actually 51 separate elections all happening at once, on the same day. The presidential candidate with the most votes in your state, the most popular, is the winner of that state's election, the popular vote. So when you vote for a presidential candidate, you're basically telling your state which candidate you'd like it to vote for.
This one.
And they do that using electors from the winning party of your state's election. Except Maine and Nebraska, who just have to be different and can award electors to more than one candidate. Show-offs. Then, on December the 14th, those electors represent you and your state and send off their votes. There are 538 Electoral College votes, and the first candidate to get more than half, with 270, wins.
What's interesting in this rather complex process is that there isn't a federal or constitutional law that makes the electors vote according to the popular vote results in their state. Although some states do require a commitment either by state law or to get them to make a pledge to a political party. Either way, the Electoral College has worked since, well, that's 232 years, relying on the electors' good faith and this delicate little thing called morality. Whatever the heck that is.
But what if an elector goes rogue and chooses how they'd like to vote freely? Well, they're called faithless electors. Some states will fine or even replace them for doing it. This year, though, the Supreme Court decided the Constitution doesn't require the electors to be able to be free to act as they wish, which is still a bit vague. So could this happen now? Well, it's massively rare. Throughout history, electors have largely stuck to the plan because they're nearly always extremely loyal party members. And whatever President Trump does try to do, it's an extraordinarily difficult and improbable task, and highly unlikely to change the outcome. Also, the differing laws of each state make it a minefield of improbability. But today, if the Supreme Court were to intervene and grant more powers to, say, state legislatures to behave in a more partisan manner, then you can most likely kiss goodbye to any kind of truly fair election.
Oh, brother.
This bizarre system wasn't exactly beloved by our founding fathers either. Right, guys?
That's right, Rick, yes.
No, they created the Electoral College because they were tired and they couldn't agree on anything else. Many were pretty against it, hoping others would see sense and choose a national popular vote instead. And as the Electoral College is based on that anyway, why not?
Exactly. Good point, Rick.
Thanks, guys.
Good idea.
Well, good luck, because amending the Constitution is never easy to achieve. And even though many scholars believe the popular vote would actually be far fairer to both Republicans and Democrats, there's just too much mistrust. But the really sad thing is, despite what's being said of our 2020 election, we actually have an electoral system that is still proven to be consistently fair, secure, and an effective election process, overseen by great American patriots from both Republican and Democratic parties to ensure its success. In the future, let's hope that cooler heads and moral hearts prevail, or else the US will no longer be able to make the claim that it's the greatest democracy on Earth, but merely the most disappointing democracy in the world.
A strange and complicated process that's worked for hundreds of years, so there's no reason to believe it won't work now, is there? And I'd like to apologise for frying your brain this early in the morning, but the good news is I got it warmed up for you so you'll be ready to use it for more useful things like looking at the wall or pretending to go to work by putting on your work pants even though you're only commuting to your laptop. Guys.
That was judgmental. You don't know.
So where does this leave all the legal challenges to the election on the Trump's legal team?
Well, Giselle, that, of course, we know yesterday was the safe harbour deadline, and so called because anybody challenging the election, the harbour itself leads to a well-known creek that doesn't have a paddle, and that also isn't going to help the process that President Trump is going through at the moment to try and challenge the election results. And of course, next week on the 14th, on Monday, it's the electors' turn to return their votes for the Electoral College. And by that time, it means that the Congress will receive eventually those votes, and we'll see as the elections in the states as effectively being completed. And it's going to be far more difficult for anybody to challenge that legally.
Wow, it's just such unprecedented territory we're in, on this.
How you act like you got that.
Yeah.
That was smooth of you.
Yeah, I got that.
Like, yeah, I totally got that. I'm like, rewind the tape.
System. Some people think it's antiquated, outdated, should go away.
Rick, I needed subtitles
Tomorrow is Hanukkah, the first night.
Yes.
Light your candles.
Juan, got this for you because I asked was your tree up. You said your menorah was, so bam, there you go.
Happy Hanukkah,
Happy Hanukkah.
everyone. Make it a beautiful, light-filled night. We'll be back.